In 2007, Spider-Man 3 was released, and at the time it was seen as obnoxious and largely disliked, for a variety of reasons. The movie's director, Sam Raimi, was not a fan of the movie, and since the movie's released, stories of creative control and just going back and forth with Sony executives, I could imagine him just having a true Howard Beale moment saying, "I am mad as hell, and I can't take it anymore!" So what did he do after Spider-Man 3 wrapped up? He made Drag Me to Hell. Yeah. Drag Me to Hell tells the story of a woman named Christine, played by Alison Lohman. She is a very nice-looking boyfriend, played by Justin Long, a great job at a Los Angeles bank with promises of a promotion. Life is good. Until Mrs. Ganoush walks in the door. And yeah, it doesn't end well. Basically, she asks Christine for an extension so that she doesn't get evicted from her home. And Christine, both out of a sense of A, not being able to do much about it, and B, trying to get that promotion, says, "Sorry, I can't help you." Mrs. Ganoush begs and pleads, and Christine is like, "Sorry, not much I can do." And, well, just like Michael Jordan,
it became personal with me.
And curses Christine. And, well, let's just say Christine has about 3 days before she is literally dragged to hell. Before Jason Blum, Sam Raimi was the guy who would literally rummage through his couch, find a couple of quarters and one kind of candy wrapper that had like dirt and grime and hair all over it, turn that in as a budget, and make a quality horror movie. See the original Evil Dead for this. In the 2000s, he made Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and it provided some of my fondest early memories of going to see movies, so much so that I dressed up as Spider-Man for Halloween 4 years in a row. Yes, really. But after Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi was just kind of over it. If you look anything into Spider-Man 3, it must have just been hell on earth. And no, that was not an attempt at a pun. Sam Raimi, even though he made arguably the best Spider-Man movie with Spider-Man 2, his wheelhouse is making these smaller horror movies. And that goes double for Drag Me to Hell, because this movie, I can't remember if I've seen this before, but if I have seen it before, it is far better than I remember it being. First of all, the acting in the movie is really good, specifically from Alison Lohman as Christine. The movie does a good job of positioning her not as a villain, but as somebody who is just... Basically, if we were in her shoes, we would kind of react similarly, if not in the same way. When she turns down Mrs. Ganoush's asking her for a loan, Christine's not like, "You? No, like, hit the bricks." No, she's very... There's a part of her that is incredibly compassionate, but she wants that promotion, so what can she do? It's the literal no-win situation. But what I love about the movie is that Christine is not some damsel in distress. She can go. There's a great scene, it's actually my favorite scene in the movie, where it's Mrs. Ganoush and Christine in a parking garage. You will know when you see it, but when you do see it, wow, things are done with a stapler that staplers were never meant to be done. Justin Long is really good as well. I think Justin Long is subtly a pretty good actor, and nobody really talks about him, which is sad, because every movie I've seen him in, I've enjoyed. Lorna Raver is adequately sinister as Mrs. Ganoush, and just her look alone is just downright terrifying. From the milky eye to just later on how she looks, it's just gray googly moogly, it's nightmare fuel. And I think the biggest compliment that I can give to this movie is that this movie just has great pacing. This is just over 90 minutes long, and that's all a movie like this needs to be. This movie lays out everything you need to know about the main character. Christine works at a bank, has a very nice boyfriend. There are several subplots about how Justin Long's parents want him to find somebody else, someone more successful. And then there's the whole seance thing. There are subplots, but it's never distracting. Everything feels like the movie maximizes its minutes. And then the ending. Wow, the ending. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen the movie, but, well, let's just say the title's a bit of a spoiler. That's all I will say. And at the end of the day, Drag Me to Hell is just quite good. I mean, it's a horror movie that almost never gets made nowadays. If it were made, say, today, it would be easily the best horror movie of the year. But it was made in 2009, and it's all the better for it. If you have not seen this movie, strangely, go check it out. It is intense.